Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I am back with another post-fight analysis video. All right, y'all, let's look at ONE FC Killer Bi Nguyen versus Ritu Phogat. All right, y'all, this was a pretty good fight. It was a good competitive fight here. And, you know, Killer Bi going into this fight, she kind of had a chip on her shoulder because everybody was counting her out. They kind of felt like that this was a winnable fight, an easy fight for Ritu Phogat. So as you know, y'all know, Killer Bi, she kind of went in here and she was just telling the truth. She was like, look, I'm nobody's stepping stone. I'm gonna go in here and make a big statement. And she did that, man. It was a very close competitive fight. I feel like Ritu Phogat definitely had the wrestling and the strength. She just didn't really have the effective striking to keep the respect of Killer Bi. You know, Killer Bi stayed in this fight. She was consistent. She kept working. Even though she got taken to the ground, she continued to work and keep this fight competitive. Now, I watched this fight a couple of times. Like I said, the first time I watched it, I felt like Ritu Phogat won the fight because I was still watching it in that UFC type of mind frame. You know, that Bellator mind frame where you're scoring more so for the takedowns. Now, y'all know me as a striking and a stand-up fan. I am going to go for that effective striking. And Killer Bi was landing some effective striking, but I felt like she was letting them rounds slip, you know, if I felt like the judges were scoring like UFC style. You know, I felt like, okay, she's letting rounds slip, but she's letting Phogat control her on the ground, using that wrestling, and she's just laying on her. I'm like, they might consider that more so dominant than the effective striking of Killer Bi. But, you know, they looked at it in their style of scoring, which I'll go back over at the end of the video, you know, ONE FC style of scoring. Killer Bi, you know, she continued to just stay consistent, work the striking, good jabs and good straight left hands and left head kicks. She was really mixing it up as a nice variety. I mean, she got controlled on the ground a few times, but not really much effective work from Ritu Phogat. I feel like Phogat, she kind of gassed out in that third round, and she looked a little bit surprised when that scoring was read, but that's how it goes, man. They look at more so effective striking in the organization of ONE FC, and Killer Bi, she won a split decision, so I can't argue with that. You know, I watched it again and I was like, yeah, overall better striking, better lateral movement, better control was Killer Bi. You know, her work rate was very high in this fight. I mean, real quick, we can go back and look at it round by round, and like I said, I'll go back over the scoring if you're not familiar with it, because, you know, I had to go back and look at it myself because, you know, they score the fight in its entirety, and then they look at effective striking more so than they do just like takedowns. And if you're just laying on somebody, they will look at kicks and, you know, strikes, and if you're landing effective shots. So real quick, man, the first round, Ritu Phogat, she came out putting that pressure on, trying to close in on Killer Bi, but Killer Bi Nguyen, she started throwing some nice combinations and nice southpaw jab to keep Phogat back. But Phogat, she was able to stick out her own jab and land it and dip under one of the combinations in Nguyen and get the fight to the ground. But she got the fight to the ground. It wasn't like she was landing too much effective work either. She wasn't really dominant. She was able to get the back of Nguyen and lock on the hip to keep Nguyen in like a neutral position. But Phogat, she let Nguyen get back up, and when Nguyen got back up, she was able to take her back down, get in the full guard, and land some nice body shots and left hands. But as soon as they stood back up, that last minute, I feel like Killer Bi was landing better strikes again, you know, some very good knees, and Phogat, she just never stopped the pressure. She kept on coming, but she was getting hit with some good shots as well. So the first round, I did score for Killer Bi. I felt like she did land the effective work. Second round, Nguyen, she started pumping out the jab, you know, making Phogat miss. You know, she was slipping, landing some good counters, good left hands and lateral movement, good head kick from Nguyen. You know, she landed a good solid straight left hand up the middle, but Phogat, she keeps coming. You know, she's putting that pressure on, landing her own punches, you know, in singles. Not too much, she's just coming forward with her pressure. When Nguyen, she comes in for a knee, Phogat, she takes it, she grabs that knee, takes the fight back to the ground, and the wrestling is all Phogat here. You know, again, in the guard, she's working, landing some good strikes here, controlling the ground. Now, I feel like here she was doing a little bit better in the second round. I did feel like the second round went to Phogat. You know, I feel like she did better work. I feel like Nguyen, her striking here was a little bit spotty, you know, and I feel like Phogat was controlling her a little bit better, and she did get these takedowns in this round. Now, from a distance, it's all Nguyen. You know, she's got the more impressive, effective striking. So here to me, it did tie up. Third round, Nguyen, she started letting those hands go. You know, not everything was landing, but the left hands were cracking, and the high kicks, they were touching Phogat. You know, Phogat, she was starting to look a little bit gassed out here. In close, beating Nguyen, she landed a good uppercut. She controlled the clinch, and she controlled the clinch when Phogat, when she came in. Phogat, she looked a little bit winded, man. She was struggling for those takedowns, beating Nguyen. She was stuffing them. She landed a hard knee to the face in this round. Beating Nguyen, she was again going back to that distance, landing some hard strikes, and she just did well. You know, Nguyen backed up Phogat this round a little bit more, and she landed a good head kick towards, like, I'd say, like the 3-minute mark of the round, because I was, you know, trying to keep a track of these effective strikes myself, And Nguyen, to me, she really turned the tables around in this round. You know, she was backing her up. I just kind of wish that the commentators were seeing this. You know, they say they score effective striking, but it just seems like the commentators, they were playing more so favoritism towards the undefeated fighter and the more so undefeated popular wrestler in Ritu Phogat. But when you really look at it, Killer B was doing a lot of work. That's why you got to watch these fights sometimes with the sound down. See, I was watching it with the sound up the first time. Second time, I just said, let me turn this down. I don't want to hear any of this, and I just want to see the work of Killer B. And to me, I feel like Killer B never really hurt Ritu Phogat. She just was able to outwork her and land these shots. And when you go by the scoring, you got to give it to Killer B. You know, she did enough to win the fight. You know, it still wasn't pretty because, you know, the wrestler still was coming in there and taking her down. And if there's some other wrestlers out there that take Killer B to the ground and land more effective strikes, they will win. But overall, I think that Killer B, she did enough to win, so there's really no argument there once you go back and look at it and look at ONE FC scoring. So striking does kind of fall in that third criterion. So if you're landing a lot of combinations and you're doing damage and you are continuing to, you know, just kind of outwork that fighter, they do look at that. Then they look at ground control and generalship. Like Ritu Phogat, she did have her moments in there where she was controlling on the ground, but she was letting Killer B back up. And overall, you know, Killer B was landing the better punches in this fight. Now, as we move on in this Grand Prix tournament, I think it's going to be tough. You know, I don't think that she can just do a lot of stick and move in these rounds with these other fighters. You know, Killer B, that is. You know, I think she's going to have to commit to more of her shots and sit down on her punches. As for Ritu Phogat, you know, there's nothing to be ashamed of. I know she looked shocked at the win, but that just kind of tells you she's got to go back to the drawing board and add more to her wrestling game. You know, you just can't kind of storm forward. You got to continue to pump the jab out. And when you take these fighters down, work. You know, you got to work and land effective shots. But yeah, overall, it was a good competitive fight. Let me know in the comment section y'all think the one won the fight. Like I said, it was really, really close. And if it went either way, you know, I really can't be mad at that. First time around, like I said, in the UFC mind frame where we're looking at it, you know, round by round, you will kind of say, okay, Ritu Phogat won. But judging the fight in its entirety and effective striking, you got to look at Killer B. Combo Breaker 99, let me know again who y'all think won the fight. Make sure y'all subscribe. Peace.